Hi everyone, this is Matt Neighbor, and this video is going to show you how to use a Cricut, the computer portion of a Cricut at least. So the very first thing you need to know is that a Cricut has a digital design space that you can work on at home, away from the Cricut, but it has to have internet to use it, and it's called the Cricut Design Space. So in order to use the Cricut Design Space, you first have to download that application. So go into Google and type in Cricut Design Space, and when you click on that, you'll be taken to a link. You should get a page like this. You will need to create a Cricut ID if you already don't have a Cricut account. You can fill in all your email that you need to use, and then once you have that, you'll sign in. When you're signed in, you'll have a page something like this where you'll have your projects listed right here on top, and then some video tutorials and templates down here that you can work off of. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new project. So we're going to click New Project. At this time, since you probably don't have the Cricut Design Space downloaded, it will prompt you for it right here. You'll see the grid for a while, and then a pop-up menu will come up asking you to download the software. So once you download the software and go back into this, it will have this grid set up for you. So there's a couple different things on this. On the side, there are different templates. This will give you a new canvas. There's projects right here of yours or other people's. Here's where you can get some visual images, whether ones are free or paid for. Here's your text, which a lot of people, that will probably be your primary thing you use, and it just makes a little text box. Shapes and things like that, and then if you want to upload an image, you can do that, or pattern. So let's just do some simple text, and then we'll do an image and see how that works. So I'm going to say hello, and then Bob. Here's my text. I can move it around. Right now, my grid is set up to be by inches. So the design space that you have, it will limit you to 11. The board, the tack board or whatever that you will put your paper on is actually 12 by 12. It has 12-inch grids, and then it's a little bit wider, but it will only allow a range of 11 inches. So anything wider than 11, it's going to say it's outside the design space. It won't want you to cut it. So our design space is 11 by 11. There are longer sheets that you can extend, but right now at school, this is what we have. So I have this text right here. Let's just get another piece of text so you can see some other stuff. Move that right here. So you can see that there's different fonts, some that are free, some that are paid for. You can click on your system to see what you have in your computer system, I believe. Let's just pick that, and we'll keep that the way it is. Style, font size, alignment, curvature, things like that. So let's do this. Let's look at some shapes really quick. The shapes are not as editable as you may want. If you click this lock button, that changes the symbol right here. Right now, the symbol goes in and out. It makes it dilation. As soon as you click this, you can change that dilation to be a stretch in either direction. It allows a little bit more versatility. A lot of times you'll want to put things together to make an image. So there's a few techniques you can do with that. If you want to group these two images together so they become one, because right now the Cricut will cut out this triangle and it will cut out this pentagon. If you want them to cut around the pentagon and then around the triangle, not through the pentagon, what you'll need to do is you'll have to group. So to do that, we're going to hit this button that says weld down here. So when we hit weld, you can see that it becomes one image. I can't undo that except by Control Z. There is no unweld after you've done 10 moves. You have to undo until that point. So just make sure that's what you want. Another thing you can do is if you select both things and hit slice, it's going to cut out the overlapping parts. So I will have this chunk from the triangle, and this chunk from the pentagon. So that's how you can make designs that you may be trying to figure out. Okay. Let's look at some different pieces over here. If you want things to be grouped together so that they move at the same time, select both items with shift and clicking and hit group. Now you can move the items all at once, and they will stick together for as long as you have them grouped. That is until you hit ungroup, and then you can move them separately again. Let's look at text here. If you click on these icons below what you have, so this text in Algerian, below that, if you click here, a pane comes out. That sets the color. Now, this color is not what the Cricut is going to draw your color as. You need the correct marker in it for it to do that. However, if you have multiple colors, you might want to style those like you want. So if you want this one to be red and this right here to be brown, do that, and then it's going to prompt you when it cuts it out to have a brown marker in and then to have your pink marker in, and it's going to do it in 2 separate stages. It will prompt you when to change the marker. The machine will stop, something will pop up on the screen, and it will do that for you. So right now I have 4 different colors going on, and it's going to prompt me 4 different times for a new marker. If I don't want that, I need everything in the same color. Now, this actually isn't doing anything with color right now because these are all cuts. So you see this cut symbol, the scissors going all the way down by all these objects. If I wanted to actually write something, I have to click on the write button. And then here are the actual colors of my pen that I would use. So that's when it's going to be prompting me for that. This will prompt me for a new color of paper. And this will prompt me for a different pen tool. You have some other things too. A score is it'll be just like tiny cuts where you can eventually fold over. Sometimes people will do that with cards and to make the crease lines a little bit better. I'm not really sure what the print does. So usually people use the cut, the write, and the score. Also, if this design space is a little confusing for you because it's white and you actually want to cut out white things or draw white things, you can change what color your canvas is so that you can see that if you want white letters or something like that. If you want to delete an object, you can just hit the X button after you click on it. You can hit delete over here. There's a lot of different ways to do that. Up on the top, you have a couple different options where you can flip things. If you want, you can rotate them. Right here, you can move them to a certain position on the grid. If you know you want them to be at a certain location, that's up here. And let's say this is how we want it to print. We're going to click Make It after that. So notice what we have here. We have 3 different, oh, actually more than that, 4 different cuts going on. So meaning we're going to have to put things on and take things off. Now, when you cut, this is not how they're lined up, or it will be how it's lined up, but that doesn't have to be. You can move it to be where you want it to be. So let's look at some of these other cuts. This said, Hello, Bob. This was grouped together because I wanted it to be grouped together. Sometimes your words aren't in the order that you want them to be, though. So I'll show you a trick with that. First, we're going to get out of this and cancel. So here I've switched today to be the color black. So now it's going to draw it and cut it at the same time. So with the cutting piece, I wanted it to say Hello, Bob, and today underneath. So I would have to move this to right here. However, you can do a different grouping technique to get that the way you want it right away. So when you're on your canvas, what you can do is select Hello, Bob, and today, and hit attach. They're going to be attached together just like this now. So now in the print menu, it's going to say it exactly how you want it to say it. The same distances. It will be in a different location, though. If you had it in the center, it will pop it out to the top right to save paper. It does that. And you can see the boundary of your cut right here in red. So the width will eventually have to be 11 by 11. After this, hit continue. At this point, plug in your machine and it will give you the rest of the instructions from there.